There, this is Tracy Matthewan, and this is the first video where I want to share with you some of my background, where I come from, and the struggles that I've gone through. And the number one lesson that I can share with you that's going to help you break through and get to the level of success that you desire. So, first of all, I want to give you a bit of background on where I come from and what I've gone through in the last few years. So to start off, 7 years ago, I had a really great corporate job. I was a business analyst for a big firm here in the Toronto area. I made great money. I mean, I was pretty much a six-figure income earner. I had a nice car. I had a nice condo. I got to travel around with my job. I mean, everything was really cozy, comfy. I didn't have a complaint in the world, to be honest. And then I went on maternity leave. And when I came back 10 months later, I didn't have my job anymore. Now, this was not a huge surprise to me because there was rumblings just as before I left. But what I did the day that I found out I didn't have my job anymore was I decided that this was my chance to go out there and become an entrepreneur. You see, because I've always had this entrepreneurial drive inside me. I just never really had a great opportunity or chance to go out and make that dream come true. And so one lesson is that when you see something like a door closing, you know that famous saying, when one door closes, another one opens. That's exactly what happened to me. Now, that door that opened that day was not all, glorious, I tell you. The first 5 years of my entrepreneurial endeavors were not all that successful. I started off doing web design. It was kind of a hobby / talent of mine. And so I got started doing that, and I realized that my customer base was in the small business entrepreneurial market, right? There's a lot of small business owners out there who need a website. So I started this business, and I got out and I started networking, and I started building up my network, getting to know a lot of people in my area who needed my services. And very quickly after starting that, I was introduced to the whole idea of internet marketing. So I got involved in some of that. And that was really that's one of the things that I love about what I do now is I love internet marketing. I'm very technically focused. So anyways, I don't want to talk about myself, but anyway, so that's kind of the route that I took. And at the same time, so back 5 years prior to when I, first found out I didn't have my job anymore, I also got involved in the industry of network marketing. I was introduced to a company. I became a customer to start with, and then I very quickly became a promoter or a distributor because I realized that this industry could provide the type of lifestyle that I wanted, where I would be replacing the income that I had at my corporate job. So I started doing those two things: an internet marketing / web design business, which was completely my own, bricks and mortar. I worked out of my office, and I went out there and I got my own clients. And I also started doing a network marketing business. So 5 years goes by. In that time, I was working like a dog. I mean, I was in this office for 14 to 16 hours a day. I had almost no social life. My husband was very upset with me for not spending so much time with him and my new daughter. And, although I was busy working, I wasn't making any money. I wasn't spending time with my family. And I had no social life, like I said. My life was kind of going down the drain, you could say. And although I was working a lot, I wasn't making very much money. I remember year after year after year going to my accountant's office at tax time and leaving his office with all my paperwork and almost crying because I had gone from making a six-figure income at my corporate job to now making anywhere between $18,000 to $22,000 a year. That was my income tax return average for those 5 years. So, in that 5-year period, I ended up living on my credit cards. I ended up spending a lot of my retirement savings that I had been saving when I was working corporately. And I was making about, $350 a week on average, some weeks a lot less, not too many weeks more than that. But so I was really living on credit. and I racked up a massive amount of credit card debt. And the last time I counted, it was around $35,000. Now I've started to pay that off, so things are going much better now. But basically, what I want to really get to you about is that 5 years of living, trying really, really hard, doing lots of different things to try and, make some money. And I'm not looking for I wasn't looking for riches. I was just looking for a way to pay my bills. That's pretty much what I was at. A lot of people live month to month or paycheck to paycheck. I was way beyond that. And I don't live a lavish lifestyle. I don't live in a huge house. I don't drive luxury cars. I mean, I live very modestly. And even at that, I was struggling big time. And so, 5 years later of living like this, I had, like I said, massive amounts of debt, almost no savings left, and very, very little income coming in. And when you're in that position, it's actually really, really scary. Like, your thoughts go through your mind of bankruptcy, which went through my mind weekly. I had no idea how I was going to pay my mortgage. Like, you can only juggle your money around so much. And every time I think about those days, like even right now, I feel like I'm, getting a little bit choked up about it because it was so stressful, and it was, oh God, I never want to be in that position again. And I hope that none of you are in that position, but if you are, I want you to know that you're not alone. There's been people there before, and they've been able to break through. So get my control of myself back here. Anyways, the biggest lesson that I want to share with you in this video is that I did not quit. And most people would go through that process for maybe 6 months to a year, and they might have gone and gotten a job, or they might have claimed bankruptcy, or they might have downsized their house. And I was on the verge of doing all of those things. But I knew that I would not be happy doing that. I did not want to get a job. Bankruptcy was like the last thing I wanted to do. And selling our home was definitely not something I wanted to do. So I was at a point where I felt like I was at the end of my rope. I wasn't homeless and on the street, but when you have massive debt and no income, it's not far away from being homeless and on the street. So anyways, my point is, and my lesson is that I didn't give up. 5 years I struggled, and I never gave up. And what happened is I was constantly looking for something that was going to work for me. And eventually I found it. And I started with a company. I was actually looking for a mentor. I was looking for somebody who would take me under their wing and help me to grow and mentor me in the industry of either network marketing or internet marketing. I loved both of them. I didn't care which one. I just wanted something that I loved, and I wanted to work with somebody who I knew could help me excel. And so that person came along. I got started with a new opportunity, and my life started to change, and things started to turn around. So my biggest lesson is don't quit. Don't ever, ever quit. You might have to do some part-time things just to get by, like a part-time job or something, to pay the bills. I was at that point where something had to give because there was nothing else. There was a breaking point for me. But, whatever situation you're in, maybe things are really tight for you right now. Maybe you've been trying a million different things and nothing seems to be working. Do not quit. That's the one thing I beg of you, and I hope you take this lesson to heart because it's the most important lesson. Nobody who ever quit became successful in what they wanted to become successful in. So you cannot quit. You cannot quit. It took me 5 years. It might take you 10 years. I don't know. It might take you 2 years. It might take you 6 months. I do not know, but I know that you cannot quit because if you do, you'll never, ever get that dream. And my dream was to be a successful entrepreneur and live a lifestyle that I'm very much on my way to living right now. And I'm definitely there. I'm definitely on my way to that place. So I really want to encourage you to never quit. And tomorrow's lesson will be up. You'll see that tomorrow. If you have anything you want to share with me about your own struggle, about your success, your breakthroughs, or whatever, please comment on this video. Please share it. And if there's anything else you'd like to add or let me know about what's going on with you. I would love to hear from you. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow with lesson number 2. Take care, everybody.